Asafodu, and I'm a business strategy consultant and a data specialist. If you've been following my channel, I've dedicated it to people who want to actually embark on the data science journey. I also teach some techniques in data science, especially data visualization. Um, so this particular video today has to do with the Ghanaian elections. I'm going to use the Ghanaian elections to teach a particular technique using Power BI. If you've been following my channel, you realize that I use Power BI a lot for my visualization and sometimes even the data preparation. So the what we're going to learn today is about using images in your visualization. So to make it practical, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to look at the EC pink sheets that were released for probably viewers outside of Ghana. Ghana had its elections some weeks ago, and there's been some kind of disputes, especially with regards to the collation. So the Electoral Commission, which is the institution assigned to actually carry out this exercise of the election, recently published all the pink sheet, which is the summary results of the 275 constituencies that were contested for the presidential elections. So we are going to use these collation sheet or the summary sheet, which is popularly known as the pink sheet, as the images into our BI or our business intelligence tool, so that we can see each constituency. When we show the results, we'll be able to see the pink sheet or the summary sheet that is associated with it. So mainly the technique I'm going to teach is how to import images into your visualizations or in your display, especially when you're using Power BI. So if you go to the EC's website currently, the ec.gov.gh, and you go to the presidential elections, you see presidential result summary sheets by constituencies. Once you click on that, you see all the pink sheets that is what is popularly called the presidential election results summary sheet for each all the 275 constituencies. So you have Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, John Dramani Mahama, that is Tano South. So the name of the constituency is on top of the sheet. So this is a SUNAF. So it's actually graded from one region on to the other. So you can move from Ahafo to Ashanti. So what are we going to do? We are going to see how we can bring this image into our dashboard or our report, so that we can display to users and know that, okay, for this particular result, this is the evidence associated to it. This particular technique is not limited to just the pink sheet. I'm just using it as a use case because this is more practical to especially my Ghanaian viewers. You can use this same images for probably, let's say you're doing statistics on some football players and there's a website that hosts their images. You can use that to pull in the images for the particular players that you're talking about. Let's say it could be the EPL, anything that has to do with images, and maybe it has to change based on a particular selection. Let's say you select a particular player, you want the image to change. There's a different technique for static images, but this is what we are looking at: dynamic images, such that if you slice and dice the page or the report, you would get a different image that has associated to it. So let's go straight into our, so this is where we are going to get our data or our images from. However, we would first have to populate our data source. I'm using Excel sheet to tabulate the data. So this is the 2020 ended election. So what I did was to look at the year, the region, like there were old regions and now Ghana is into 16 regions instead of the usual 10 in previous years. Then the constituency name. Then I'm picking just for Nada and Mahama, candidate Nana Akufo-Addo and John Dramani Mahama. So you would have to get the data of what you're going to analyze. So this is my data in Excel. So let's go straight to the Power BI. So this, what we're going to do is to first bring the data into the Power BI. When you open the Power BI, this is where what you see. Those who are not familiar with Power BI, you could just download it on Microsoft. It's a Microsoft tool. It is free. I think it's the best business intelligence tool, organizational intelligence to anybody. It's easy to use. It's cheaper. The main frame is cheap. It's free. But if you want other additions like publishing results for people to see, that's where you pay for that. So what you do first is to get the data into the BI. So when you go to get data, for instance, Excel is the data set. So my data set is 2016 final 2. So when I go to get data, there will be a pop-up. So I'll choose, it's at the summary constituencies. So this is a summary of all the constituencies. Then you click transform. When you click transform, you get the query editor. The query editor for Power BI is its transformation tool, the transformation side or the data preparation tool for Power BI. You could use Python, R to transform your data, but I think the Power Query Editor is quite easier to use. So you bring in the data, like I said, you transform data. Any data you bring in, you have to transform in one way or the other. Before that, let me probably show how you would have to get the data in Excel from the website. So what you do is that, you see, I created a place, a column called image URL, which is linked to a particular constituency. So on that particular row or line, I have an image that is linked to it. So that is what you are seeing here. So there's each image, the URL of the image is linked. So how do we get this URL? What you need to do is to just right click on the image, copy image address, and you paste it in your Excel sheet. You can also right click and open in a new tab. You get it opened, then you right click and copy image address. So it's the image address that you'd always need, and then you paste that into Excel for each of the 275 constituencies. You could do that for any other thing that you want to talk about. So that is how I got the URL into the Excel. So if you come here, you realize that this is the URL that I have here. So when I finish, I'll just do close and apply so as the data would load after I've done my transformation. This is not a video for transformation. You can check out my other video on data transformation. So once it loads into the BI, what's happening? Okay, so once it loads, so you see it loading into the fields. So this is where it loaded into. So ideally, let's say if I wanted to bring just any image, all that I needed to do is to download the image and go to insert and bring image. But these are static images. So for instance, let's say I have an image of President Akufo-Addo. So I can bring a static image in there. So that one, it's quite easy. You just go to image, insert, you go to image, and you bring in the image. But what we are going to do is not bringing in just image. We want the image to be dynamic, but the image is not static. We want the image to change as and when we select a particular constituency or a particular region, because our images or the pink sheets are in constituencies. So first, let me bring in a slicer and bring in the constituencies. Then you would go to get more visuals. You need an image visual that you would use. So there are several image visuals that you can use. So you go to get more visuals, and to go here you'd have to log in into your Microsoft account. you don't have a Microsoft account, you might have to open one. So you just search image, you get all the image visualizations that you can get, or the image visuals. So I'll just use a simple image. So let's bring in a simple image visual. So it said I've already brought it in here. So that is the simple image. So once I bring in the image, so that's my image, I can then select the image URL and drag and drop it inside my visualization field. So there you see. So even this is the first image that is in the EC's website. So that's for Thanos South. So that is the pink sheet. So if I'm to choose, let's say Ablekuma, you will see that Ablekuma's pink sheet would be what will be shown. Alright, you can open it further bigger so as you see. So that's the Ablekuma pink sheet. Alright, so in finality, this is something that I built to bring the curtain to a close. So this is something that I built for the elections based on the EC's data set. So these are static images that you can download on the website, on any website, and bring them in. So for instance, if I select any, so total is 7676060 for another, and 6265660 for ex-president John Dramani Mahama. So you can select any of the pink sheets, Ablekuma South. So you see the constituency selected here, and you can get the pink sheet. So Anado had 23760, President John Mahama had 35489. So you're able to see with the evidence whether it is right or wrong. I hope this would help ease a lot of the tensions that are out there. So that is how you can actually import image dynamically into your BI. Subscribe to my channel. The name is Ebenezer Safwedu. Probably I'll take this opportunity to wish all my viewers a Merry Christmas, and probably we can all dance to one of my favorite songs, yeah, by Joyful Way. Oh, So Merry Christmas to us all, and a Happy New Year to all my viewers, especially all those in Ghana. I hope this Christmas brings a renewed union and love between all citizens. Bye. Let me dance to my tune.